having more consistent hitboxes, and especially on the edge guarding, having the more consistent hitboxes is nice. Okay. So, going into this game, I believe that is BC sitting on the right.
You would be correct. Saw BC on the mic earlier.
Yeah, so BC in Smash 4 played Villager for as long as he could bear until he decided I'm going to use Cloud because sometimes Villager just can't get it done against these other DLC characters.
I think the big thing there is also that, you know, Villager definitely has the kill struggles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, after switching to the Cloud, he was like a lot happier. It's like getting a few more results. But I'd like to see him go back to the Villager in this game because we've been saying like, hey, this character is actually kind of quietly really good.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what character BC is using in this game because Cloud, not super similar to his old iteration, but still very strong character.
Mm-hmm.
He does have some... His tools are still really good. You just have to use them a little bit differently. Not quite the Canoper character, but a lot more of a defensive kit in this game. Of course, that falls right into play when you're a player like BC who plays more defensively with characters like Villager and the more camping Cloud. So he is going to be using the Villager against this Ridley.
I think that's strong. I think that's really strong against a big body like Ridley because, I mean, Ridley's going to have a little bit of trouble getting in on a Villager, right?
So the Smash United's BC going against Krakatoa. We'll see what this Gold Ridley can get going on. Again, starting on Lylat. Interesting concept. Go.
I think that's a big benefit for Villager, especially in this matchup, just because of, you know, any unpredictability involving projectiles is really difficult for the beefy boy of Ridley to deal with. And also, by the way, just want to point out that that slingshot is going to be huge in shutting down the fireballs.
Absolutely. If you're able to knock Ridley on the head before he gets those fireballs going out too, you get a little bit extra damage, so that's a nice bonus reward.
Not even a little bit. I think it's like 20 damage, isn't it? Like it's actually kind of significant.
Could be. I don't see it too often.
Well, right now the beef is on Krakatoa's side with the Ridley netting out that first stock, and I think that could actually be the story, is that Krakatoa is going to be able to get this first stock and then going to struggle a little bit later on if BC just continues to jump away and, you know, stay hard to touch.
Right, but as long as Krakatoa's got a stock lead, BC's game plan becomes a lot less potent running away and forcing interactions, because at this point, Krakatoa doesn't actually have to approach. It's on BC to get something going.
Yeah, and you can see that Krakatoa is just taking advantage of that. He's like, all right, well, I got a strong projectile. You can only pick up one of these at a time, so you're not going to do the 25% to me. But at the same time, you know, you get too comfortable sitting back and just throwing those. Eventually, BC's going to surprise you with a little bit of a burst movement and smack you.
Up smash covers the whole platform. That up smash from Ridley is really, really difficult to deal with sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really solid landing option, and Krakatoa taking advantage, putting BC at 105% right now.
But important to note, of course, that Ridley does have a few really good anti-airs, namely that up tilt and the up smash. So good at locking down people who like to stick on those platforms just like that.
Krakatoa now up almost a full clean stock.
I'd say
worth noting, not a player that I knew of in Smash 4. I'm not sure if they just didn't find their stride in that game or if I just have been sleeping.
I think I saw Krakatoa a little bit around at like a TGC or something like that.
Okay.
I know I've heard the name before, but yeah, seeing him go up, you know, toe-to-toe with BC like this, that's a pretty good start for him, man, to the old Smash Ultimate Regional. Parry once again on the Lloyd Rocket. Really got the timing down for that. I think parries are super important for Ridley too, because that's one of the only ways that you're actually going to be able to get out some of those beefier options.
And definitely on a bigger character like this, you're going to get pinned down otherwise. Krakatoa making big advantage of it, avoiding any trouble with the tree on the recovery. But the tree is not going to let him get any edge guards with these fireballs.
No, got to get that out of the way first, but doing enough damage to it will make the tree go away. That's why Krakatoa has still got the stock advantage right now. BC missing the bowling ball off the stage. As Krakatoa goes right back to the ledge, but will he be able to land against this villager? Wow, using the Nair so well.
That neutral air from Ridley is huge, and the hitbox on that recovery, getting through the bowling ball, but gets up into the magic wand, that up tilt that BC has left for him, up at 126%. This is a tall order for BC to make that back.
Whoa!
And that's a parry into a forward smash.
Like I said, gotta use the parry to get those beefier options out, and because he's able to use that parry so efficiently to just neutralize the Lloyd Rocket, that lets him turn around and fire off on BC, who's thinking, okay, I've got plenty of time since the Lloyd Rocket's in front of me.
No,
you know, can't do anything while it's out, but apparently you can.
Sure can, especially, I mean, it's such a powerful attack to answer back with as well. That definitely would have killed at half the percent he was at.
How it feels to chew 5 fire.
Oof.
That is a disgusting forward smash, honestly. Because that thing kills at like 60, 70 on a lot of characters.
Boy got some nasty Cheeto breath.
Dude, I mean, the way this Ridley skin is looking right now, he's got a Cheeto everything.
All right, let's see if he continues to dominate with his masterful use of these parries. He's able to control the ground. Right now, we are seeing, interestingly enough, I've seen a lot of projectile characters prefer, even though Smashville is a lot smaller, this platform gives them a lot to work with to set up their zones.
Yes, indeed. I think especially for Villager, where you can take advantage of 2 different lanes of approach to, you know, a bigger character like Ridley. Yeah, I think Smashville is definitely one of the best turnarounds if you can just, you know, keep throwing those Lloyd Rockets low and then shooting the slingshot high.
There we go. Krakatoa's patience is admirable right now, dealing with the myriad of projectiles that BC is tossing out, mostly that slingshot, Lloyd here and there.
I mean, the patience, like you said, is the reason that he's in this. I mean, to have the patience to just sit back and parry the Lloyd Rockets to totally neutralize it, and, of course, noting that the Lloyd Rocket stays out on the stage, which means that BC can't throw another one.
Yeah, not getting baited into this situation at the edge where you can drop that bowling ball that BC's been looking for a couple times now. Krakatoa has been able to escape.
What I love from Krakatoa, actually, is just the general matchup knowledge against Villager, knowing that when that Lloyd Rocket comes out, like, look at how big the net is. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Got to be big to catch that big boy Ridley.
Yeah, and big arms to get that kill throw, too. But I was just going to point out an interaction earlier where Krakatoa knew that the Lloyd Rocket isn't active on startup. It's not until it starts moving that it has an active hitbox. So he just crashed right in with the dash attack and was able to knock BC off the stage, but hasn't been able to knock off that stock just yet.
There we go. Nair so close to the shield. Still shield grabbable in that circumstance. But BC kind of running away with his percent now.
And that's the big thing about a projectile character, is that if you don't start off by getting it going, then you're going to see more of that round 1 where you have to approach with a zoner, and that's, of course, not fun against a big body like Ridley.
Oh my goodness, and now another stock ahead for BC. Playing this particular matchup, the lead changes so much of how it goes down.
Because in some matchups, you're like, well, all right, but it's like Fox Wolf, so they can kill each other at, like, you know, 10.
Yeah.
But, ooh, the mix-up. Love that from BC, but it doesn't end up working out. Krakatoa, once again, knowing how this matchup is going to work and just taking it one step at a time. That's the only thing you can do against a projectile character, because like you said, when you're a projectile character up this heavy amount, how are you going to get that train rolling again if you're Ridley? That's the question that Krakatoa is trying to answer.
You definitely got to find an opening, get a good juggle started, perhaps with that Nair. Not going to get a good hitbox to juggle with, though.
It's just so hard to juggle Villager. I mean, they have great aerial mobility, you know, on top of just having the huge recovery so that if you do mess up, if you do have to air dodge off stage, you're making it back. I'm trying to get a lot of use out of the forward tilt here. Able to get a stage spike, and it's strong.
That killed at 83. BC rolled his eyes at that one. He's like, I'm not used to needing to tech stuff like that because my recovery is insane.
Yeah. But hey, man, always good to learn. Wow.
That was a scary situation. And the get-up attack still getting hit by the tree?
And that's so weird to see because get-up attacks are invincible until that hitbox comes out, but that timber was out for so long that it just still hit him.
Yeah, hitting BC there actually put him in a worse spot than if he had completely whiffed. Ridley is so big that his tail, I think, all the way out there got hit.
Mm-hmm.
Ridley is too big for Smash.
He's... I mean, we also saw how wacky it was when he got grabbed by Villager. Yeah, this guy is large and in charge. So, now Krakatoa has got to turn this around here in Game 3, and it's his counter pick, which means that, you know, we could be seeing that smaller kind of stage so long as it doesn't give BC, you know, the ability to cover a long horizontal lane of approach. And going to a stage like Battlefield, that's going to let you get right up in that Villager's face the whole time if you're playing Ridley.
Absolutely. Big advantage of those platforms, not necessarily going to have to go under one or around one to get to the Villager. That big open space in the middle might be useful. You do have to watch out for a lot more bowling ball setups on this stage, though, as well, if you're playing against the Villager.
I think the big thing that Krakatoa needs to do is watch his opponent. This is the most important part of this matchup, is that he needs to see how BC is going to be jumping around these platforms and see if he can find a rhythm or a pattern that BC takes around this tri-plat layout. Right now, actually, getting a lot out of just finding how he gets back on stage. Keeping it pretty even so far.
Oh, Nair crosses over, resets the zone, retreats to the ledge, but Krakatoa's ledge trapping has been pretty good so far. Those slingshots, though, are making it really difficult for him to pin BC down here. And that hitbox on Ridley's recovery is so potent.
So important for him. Otherwise, this would be a much, much harder matchup for Krakatoa to try to get anything done. Because remember, Ridley only has 4 set angles.
Yeah, if his recovery was more akin to Fox's, he would be out of here. Free bowling balls left and right. Up tilt is a nice catch, but he's not able to get anything off of it. And again, the first stock taken here is going to set the pace of the rest of the game.
Ooh, air dodge off by BC. And wow, setting up just to cover that recovery. Just a little bit more speed would have let Krakatoa get there, but instead,
not able to snap the ledge from that angle, just a little bit above, and BC had the time to go in for a spike. Now is no reason in the world to start approaching. Sit back, let Krakatoa come to you.
Or you could just continue to approach him with the slingshots and annoy the living hell out of him.
I mean, take what you can get, right? When you get one, you can absolutely connect more. It's just safe pokes with these slingshots, and once they hit, you can convert. If they don't, you can reset back up and force more.
Oh my gosh. That hitbox is so active, neighbor.
Absolutely.
All right, Krakatoa trying to take control of center, but he's just going to keep getting pushed back by these slingshots and these constant Lloyd rockets. That time, I think BC was waiting for him to parry the Lloyd rocket and then tried to follow up by dropping a bowling ball right on that noggin, but couldn't find it. Finds it here, though, on the neutral getup. Once again, BC up 3 stocks to 1.
And this is big adaptations from Game 1. BC, after losing the first stock, was so far behind. Not going to find anything cute off of the reset, but that was nice to set up off of the pratfall.
That is a classic pratfall setup from Villager. I can't believe he didn't find anything after that.
Go.
All right, once again, setting up his lanes of approach. I think the big thing that Krakatoa is having problems with is that BC isn't really showing his hand on these platforms. He's really just taking control of the main part of the stage and not touching the platform, so neither is Krakatoa. That's causing problems for him.
I think the biggest thing is whenever BC gives him free stage and retreats to the ledge, Krakatoa is not able to take advantage of it because he hasn't found as solid ledge traps as he did at the very start of the game. Instead, he's been letting BC get off the ledge for free, continuing to oppress him with the slingshots, not finding real answers.
I'll make it back. Big magnet hands for Ridley, but Krakatoa's going to need a little bit more than magnet hands to bring back this game at 101%, nearing kill percent, even for Villager. We'll see what BC has cooked up to finish it. How about 3 turnips, stick them in a pot, stick them in a stew, and stick BC deeper into the winner's bracket of his pool as he's able to get the comeback on Krakatoa.
Yeah, again, big adaptations. Taking the first stock in that matchup is absolutely huge, but BC doing his best to take advantage of the things that Krakatoa wasn't. A.k.a. his ledge trapping. He was able to freely get off the ledge whenever he wanted, so if he felt a little bit concerned. He could back up and then set up the projectile zones. If he hits one, he can go in at that point. If not, he can retreat to the ledge and then reset the whole situation, jumping over him, retreating to those platforms.